Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit interesting. I am going to share some inserts that I recently got. I haven't done a ton of stationery purchases really this year, but May Paper Co., which is one of my favorite shops, did recently have their end of financial year sale where their entire shop was 20% off. So I picked up a few things. The first thing that I picked up was a dated weekly agenda. This was more than 20% off, and obviously I don't need January through June because this coming week is already going to be the 1st of July. But I did pick up for the remainder of July. So things that I like about this particular insert is that it does have a monthly cover page and each month is separated. So this is July, and then we get through the end of July into the very first week of August, and then it is separated. And this is how my monthly from May Paper Co. is. Each month is separated, so it will be easy for me to just keep the month's worth of weeklies in my planner. And while I sometimes like to do various types of weeklies, I'm finding that I do have a need for a vertical weekly for the week, just to keep track of my meetings and focus points for the day in here. And so this is dated 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And granted, that's typically not what I like time-wise for my whole day on my dailies, but for just mapping out my professional responsibilities for the week, this is going to be very helpful. A little space at the top I can use to maybe put in what my focus for each day is going to be. And then Saturday and Sunday are stacked, which is totally fine because this is primarily going to be for work. I'm not going to keep a lot of personal things in here, and so it's mainly going to be for a work overview. Now, I will still have personal appointments on here if they pertain to the day's schedule. So that way I know. So for example, if I have a doctor appointment in the morning and I want to put that in, I see how that fits into the scope of the day or the week in transitioning from the doctor appointment to coming into work and starting my day, stuff like that. So I'm really excited for this. The next insert that I got was an online orders insert, which I have some online orders printable already. I just like the option to not have to cut and print them. And I actually like that this has also a returned and refunded section. I currently like my one because it does have a section for if the product has been delayed. I just thought, okay, it's discounted, I can use it. If I don't have time to print more and I need some more, at least I have a stash of some that are ready to go. Then I got a buy now, pay later insert. So I don't do this often, but occasionally if I have a bigger purchase that I feel a little iffy on, I sometimes will do a buy now, pay later if I think I might return it, just so that I'm not out all of the cash up front, if that makes sense. I will only do the options that are 0% interest, so I'm not paying interest on it, so it doesn't cost me any more money. But I figured for the times that I do it, it would be nice to have. So I may keep one sheet of this in my planner, in my sort of miscellaneous. I'll go with the online orders and wish list section of my planner. So I thought it was a neat concept and figured, okay, again, it's on sale, let's go ahead and give it a try. Then I got some gratitude log inserts. Now, I have created a daily journal insert for myself that does include a gratitude log, but I like the concept of if I don't do one of my daily journaling inserts of just doing some gratitude for the day. So I'm gonna put a few of these sheets into my daily journaling section of my planner. So that way I have the option to do just gratitude if I wanna do a little bit of journaling-ish things, but I don't want to do a ton of it and maybe just want to do gratitude to set the tone for the day. So I like this, again, something I've been looking at. And then I got some grid insert. This is 4mm grid, which I do like because I do need some more notes pages. I'm going through those so fast. And then I think that this was included, just thrown in, because I didn't order 2 sets of grid. So I got a little extra grid, so tons of grid paper. Now, I did get a few little extras. I did get some dividers. I had mentioned in another video that I was getting dividers, so I got 2 sets of top tab dividers and 2 sets of side tab dividers that are a little bit more of the thick frosted plastic that are a bit sturdier. So I have my vellum dividers and then I have my frosted plastic dividers. I just think dividers are one of those things where I like to have backups in case the ones that I'm using maybe get ruined. And I like having multiple sets so that as I change and adjust my ring setup, I can section things accordingly. So I'm really happy to have gotten these. Again, got them 20% off. I wasn't gonna pay full price for them, but I had them in my cart and on my wish list. And so when they went on sale, I went ahead and got them. And that was with a lot of these inserts. They were on my wish list already or sitting in my cart. And I was like, listen, these will eventually go on sale. I'll just keep an eye out. And when they go on sale is when I'll buy them. And so none of these were an impulse purchase. I've been eyeballing these for several months at this point, and I just waited for them to go on sale so I didn't pay full price. I've got some additional page markers. So today, page markers, one in black, one in gold. And then these page markers that are just the clear plastic ruler, they're thin. I have some page markers and dashboards in my planner already, but they're a little more decorative. So I have these for when I want something more minimal, and I like that they're cohesive and uniform. I like that they're the same. I like that everything will be not tossed together, because a lot of my page markers and things like that and even other dividers were all thrown together based off what I had from my personal wide collection when I was originally personal wide, and I cut a lot of things down, and I just wanted everything to be like a matching set. So when I flip to these page markers, everything goes together, and when I'm using the other ones, everything goes together. So that might be a little extra of me, but again, I waited until everything went on sale. It was like, man, I would really love to get these, but I just can't justify paying full price for them. But then 20% off was good enough for me for the things that I actually wanted. So there we go. Now, a couple other things that were fun that were, again, in my cart on my wish list, but I didn't buy them yet, and that was sticky notes. Now, these sticky notes are actually a lot bigger in real life than I anticipated them being. Like, I thought they were gonna be smaller. They are much bigger. Like, this is the size of my hand, bigger than my hand. So this is an undated monthly. I find that this would maybe be helpful for doing like a specific task, and then I can maybe just move the sticker from sort of day to day or keep it on my dashboard for my daily. I just like the option to have a monthly, and I don't love printing my own sticky notes. I've done that in the past and it's just very fiddly, and I don't really feel like taking the energy to print my own sticky notes. So I like the option to have an undated monthly sticky note that I can fill in and use for whatever I want. I do this little task list here. So if for some reason I need a specific to-do list to travel with me from daily to daily, and I don't want to have to constantly migrate it, like it's a sort of an ongoing maybe list of things for a specific project that I'm working on that week, I want to have it and I don't want to have to constantly migrate it. And then this one is a grid sticky note that has space for the date. And then you can mark whether it's an idea, a list, a reminder, a message, review, note, other. I, again, thought these were really cute, very functional, and would not buy them full price, but definitely bought them when they were on sale. I also got some printable inserts from Infinite Lotus, and Infinite Lotus is another one of my favorite insert shops. So I grabbed some downloadable inserts. This is a 90-day plan insert, has goal, created, deadline, a little box for achieved, if there's a reward, why I'm doing it, what the brainstorm is. And this is the part that I really like. So you can do what gets done in the first 30 days, the next 60 days, and then the last 90 days. And so this to me is really nice because I really like lists and long-term planning. Then I have a goal planner insert. I'm not entirely sure that this is something that I would use, but I like the concept, and to me, spending like $3, $4 on a printable that could be very functional for me is, I think, worth spending the money on when I'm in a phase where I'm needing to update some functionality in my planner, and I would rather get something that I think is gonna fit the need versus try to make something when I don't quite know yet what I need. A lot of the inserts that I made that I showed in a recent video, I already had an idea of what I needed. I'm not entirely sure what I need in this realm, and this might work perfectly, or I might find that I would like something set up differently, and then I might make my own iteration of it. But goal planner here, and this is a goal planning on one page, so I like it because I can map out several things. I think it's very interesting, so we got this in the mix. Then I have a project planner. Now, a lot of the projects that I'm going to be working on are going to be collaborative. However, I still like to have things on paper. And so I don't know if this will work, but it's just a grid notes and then a basic brainstorm, a list of oh, what is happening with this autofocus? Okay, hopefully that fixed it. So this is just a start and end, if there's a budget or cost to it, which a lot of my stuff won't have that. The objectives, a little space for brainstorming, the to-do list for the project, and then each project portion has the grid notes. I don't love this setup. I've actually brainstormed what my own project planning insert might look like, but do I have the time right now to sit down and use it? No, so I will just make do with this for now, and we'll see how it goes. But I thought this one was a very functional insert. At least for my portions of projects that are collaborative, I have something. Now, here's where we're gonna lead into sort of my next issue. I did get an inbox that actually is aligned with the GTD method, which doesn't 100% make sense to me. However, I am currently just continuously growing and expanding. There's a lot of things changing professionally for me right now, and I need a better way to keep tabs of all of the things in my life on every level. And this is just another iteration of that need. So I downloaded an inbox insert that has the next calendar, projects waiting, someday maybe, reference. And this is where we're getting into my issues currently. And I actually wrote several pages of notes on this. We're just gonna reference the notes. So here's where I'm at in kind of the evolution of things. I need to let go of some of the journals and physical books that I currently have in my system that I am used to touching more regularly, but really haven't touched at all in Q2 because that just has not been feasible. And I've been really struggling with that because I feel like I'm somehow letting myself down, or I'm not quote unquote good at journaling because I'm not doing these things the way I intended. But I have to remember that my life changed recently in April in a very big way that I didn't anticipate when I started all of these things or picked up these books. And I need to prioritize where I do spend time in my stationery, because even doing my 5-year journal on a daily basis has become increasingly difficult. And even doing my micro journaling has become increasingly difficult, hence the daily journal pages that I did put into my Rings planner. So in an effort to just be honest with where I'm at, let go of whatever arbitrary expectations I've set on myself, I need to meet myself where I'm at in this current season. So here's all my brainstorming in no specific order. I need to let go of my more long form notebooks. Even my micro journaling, I consider it in the category of long form journaling, but like my notes for my personal development books, things like that, where I'm used to just like taking my time to really write a lot of things out. And I set up a whole thing and I get a cup of coffee. It's like a whole ritual that I have. But I need to prioritize more efforts in therapy for emotional resilience and growth. And I also need to prioritize my 5-year journal because I care more about that over the long term. And that's about as much daily journaling on the events of any given day that I truly have the capacity for. Now, I don't necessarily want to abandon my journaling practices, but again, it's being realistic with what I have the capacity for right now, and I miss my other hobbies, okay? If I do have time for hobbies, I wanna do other things. I wanna get back to singing more regularly, playing piano more regularly. I wanna get back to crochet and knitting more regularly. And with my personal development reading, I wrote here, I can only do so many things in one day. I've had new opportunities in quarter two, and moving forward, it means if I'm gonna read something, just let myself read and let go of my thought of how I should be taking notes based on what I like to do, because if I am only reading those books when I can do it the way I think it should be done, then I'm just not gonna do any of it. And I need to let go of that perfectionism. I will still get a benefit if I read the book or listen to the audiobook without scribbling down a bunch of notes. That includes being willing to sometimes pick up my phone and open my Kindle app and read something from a book that I feel is relevant. Or read something from a book while I'm waiting for something. Letting go basically of the way that I'm used to doing things, because I'm not doing it. And in not doing it the way that I'm used to doing it, I'm not doing any of it. And I'm not benefiting from it. So it's just being real about it. Now, my education documents, I am still going to use my physical notebook, but I'm also going to let myself use taking notes on a computer. I'm also going to let myself taking notes on my iPad. Okay. I'm also going to take the time to organize and digitize my notes from my physical notebook. I've done this before where I've taken a lot of handwritten notes, and you can scan stuff from your phone and turn your handwritten notes into a PDF. Like, I can do that. So I'm gonna let myself be more flexible with how I take notes for my professional development, because I have a lot of it coming down the line. I have a lot of it that I've been working on right now in the next 6 months, and a lot coming down the way. And again, it's letting go of doing it in a way that I feel should be done, and being more flexible in my approaches, and then making intentional efforts to then organize that information from whatever format it's in, because I have done that before successfully. I would rather lean into whatever works in the moment than be locked into doing it one specific way for the sake of, oh, I like writing things down on paper. Cool, that's great, I love that for you. But if you forgot your notebook at home, or if you don't have the space or the time, or it's easier to just pull up the course on your iPad and pull up GoodNotes on the side and take a little bit of time to do something, like on the plane or when you're traveling or what have you, then do it that way. Do it that way. And let it be in the moment, versus if I can't do it this way, I won't do anything at all, because then again, I won't do it. I'll miss deadlines, things will take too long, and I won't benefit, and I'll be stressed. I did put a note here. I do love the handwritten journaling. It slowed me down in a moment when I needed to slow down and decompress. And I will come back to getting more into it in ways that are decorative and artistic when the time comes, but I'm just not in a season where that fits into my life. And by holding on to it, I'm holding myself back. So letting myself pivot with where I'm at in the world. Now, my daily Stoic reading. I am so behind on this. And so it's dated, there's one reading per day of the year, and I have my A6 Han that I write my notes in on it. And that one I do writing notes in, because when I do it, it's very short. However, I am gonna let go of the timeline. I'm gonna pick it up when I can pick it up, maybe 2-3 days a week. And I will use the A6 to keep track of which days I'm doing entries on, so that I can make sure that I do touch the entire book. But I'm likely not gonna finish it by the end of 2025, and that's okay. I will finish it when I finish it. I need also more accessibility. Carrying around a bajillion journals and notebooks for all these separate things currently offers me. So if I have every single notebook with me that I would touch for all of these things, I have a personal development journal, a continuing education journal for courses and things like that, my A6 notebook for the Daily Stoic, I have my EDC, which is my rings planner, and then I have my 5-year journal. I have been toting all of these things around, trying to touch them all consistently. And that's not even it. I also have my therapy journal and my novel journal. And like my novel, where did my novel go? And that was another thing I put in here. But I need to just be a little bit more digital and a little bit more functional right now in order for me to do all of the things I want to do versus not doing them or avoiding them because I can't get into it the way that I am used to getting into it. This is the other thing. My rings are chunky. They're getting thick. I can't really fit a whole lot more. And I have used rings consistently for the last 3 years, and historically my rings has at the very minimum held more long-term information, especially around like my health. And I'm thinking that there are some pieces that can likely be moved into more of a reference binder that I don't need to keep daily because I'm not even looking at those pages daily. Now, where the challenge will come is in creating a routine in which I do consistently sit down at home at my desk a couple days a week to update this information. I am so discombobulated in my tasks and my notes and my dailies and my weeklies. Everything's all over the place, and then I have some stuff that's digital, and I just really need to almost burn it to the ground and start over. So I'm currently in the process of reading a little bit of the Getting Things Done book, and then I'm going to be looking at The Second Brain by Tiago Forte and looking at probably redoing my entire Notion setup, and that's really going to be a focus through this next several days because I have to get organized so I can manage my time better, because I am not yet struggling, but definitely feeling like what I'm currently doing, it's being held together by Scotch tape right now. And I don't like that feeling. So I need to figure out what I want to do and then make a plan to get organized and then actually use those systems in a way that's effective. And I'm finally at a point where I can come up for some air to figure these things out. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to look moving forward, but I'm going to be playing with it. So if you have thoughts on everything, if you've used Getting Things Done or Second Brain, or you're somebody who uses the digital tools or Notion or like a digital task management plus a lot of project management and daily task management within your roles, which here's the thing, this stuff is not new to me, but I'm doing so many more things now that are massive projects with the startup that I came on with. And it is very exciting. I am very happy with the decision that I made to get involved, because I'm able to do things that I've wanted to do for a long time, but would have needed to wait until my business got to a certain point and I had all these hires. And my Instagram, my coaching page is small. I've got maybe like 2,800 followers, I think, like at max on my coaching page. I'm not viral. I'm not huge. I don't have the demand or the necessity for some of these bigger things that I've always wanted to get into that I now am having the opportunity to get into. I'm excited. I am so freaking excited. But I need to get my life organized because my life is just, I feel like, again, it feels like I'm holding things together with Scotch tape. And now that I've had a little breathing room to suss out what I'm working on, I've done some sort of brainstorming and planning. I also need to keep a functional, physical reference for personal and professional, but maybe downsize what I'm currently having here so I can bring in more of the project stuff that I need to reference day to day, week to week in here, right? And then also revamp some of my online tools for when the needs of my management exceed what the paper planner can hold. So that's my ramble for the day. Let me know if you guys have thoughts, questions, things that you've tried, things that have worked. I'd love to hear from you guys, the hive mind, so to speak. And thanks for being here. If you've gotten to the end, I'll catch you on the next one.